How do you like magnifiers? I like
No,
magnifiers.
I
Personally.
don't.
Really?
And I'm kind of weird like that. I just don't like them. I'm more a purpose-built gun guy. I know that I'm in the minority when it comes to magnifiers. I don't like having that extra weight on the gun, especially when I'm not using it and it's sitting off to the side. It's just in the way. It's something else that can get banged on shit. There's also a parallax error between the two optics. Most people don't know that, but it does. There is a parallax error. It's also a gap where shit can get stuck in. Shit can get caught in there. Mud, debris, whatever. I just don't, conceptually, I don't like it. Maybe on a support gun, I don't know. Never shot a machine gun. Like, I could see maybe it being more relevant there. I don't know. But on just an entry gun, I'm like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
My purpose.
You want to use it on an entry gun because why?
Right.
What you need your 3 or 5 power magnifier for?
Half my SWAT team runs 3 power magnifiers. I don't.
Really?
I run a dot.
For like their entry guns? Mm-hmm. Really?
Just because they like it. And when they're shooting prone at 100, they like putting that 3 power up there. But I can still see the target just fine at 100, so fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
If I want magnification, I'm going to get a VPO. I'm going to get an actual proper magnified optic.
Do you like VPOs on entry guns? That's becoming really popular now.
No.
People putting VPOs for entry guns like their general purpose. Like they'll enter a building with this or they'll fight out.
Yeah, I
personally hate it. I hate it too.
I think it's dumb. It's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And even if you put
I don't like it because of a red dot, it's a dot. You drive the gun out, the dot's there. Right? With this, no matter, even if you have set to 1 power, you're still fighting eye relief and all that. Like, why do I want that?
Yeah, and it's not it's not a true 1 power, even though they say it's a true 1 power, it's really not. It's just gonna be a hair slower. But most of it's weight. I mean, they're fucking heavy. Yeah. There's ways you can cheat. Because it's a circle, right? Obviously. And the center is the center is the center. So you can, if you change the way you think about aiming targets, instead of putting the dot on the target, you put what you're shooting in the center of that circle. That's a trick that can kind of help speed things up a little bit. But ultimately, it's just a weight issue. If you have a VPO, you can take it indoors. You don't want to. That's not a desirable situation. You want your purpose-built rifle. I know there's a SWAT team locally that's very talented. They let their guys shoot whatever they want, and most of them have VPOs on their rifles. I don't know why. I'm like, maybe they do a lot of longer range stuff on their range days, and that's why they use it.
Do they have lasers on their guns?
They don't, no.
Yeah, so I hear that argument a lot. Well, indoors I'm going to use a laser, which to me is like, I'm a big fan of Viz lasers, but to me, I don't want to just use that as my only, I don't want to say only, but my only aiming device indoors. Like, I won't be able to use my dot.
So in my opinion, a VPO is I know they say do all, but a tool that does everything probably does everything kind of crappy.
Yeah.
So if I'm using a VPO, I'm probably on a rooftop, probably doing some sort of overwatch. And the role that I do at site security details is that most of the time I'm on a rooftop covering a couple 100 yards everywhere. And I'll have my bolt gun and then I'll have the VPO so I can use whatever I think is appropriate for what I'm dealing with. But, I'm doing a search warrant where I'm going in this structure. No, I'm not bringing the VPO.
Yeah.
I'm bringing my entry gun. If I'm doing anything in between, I'm probably bringing the entry gun just because. Mm-hmm. If I went back to patrol tomorrow, and I would just retire. But let's say I went back to patrol because I can retire whenever. I'm that point. I can leave whenever I want. But let's say I went back. You're old. I am, and I wouldn't want to go back to patrol anyway. But fuck that. I just don't want to deal with people's bullshit anymore. But neither here nor there. Patrol's just dealing with people who can't handle their own problems, and I love patrol. It's the backbone of the department. I did it for 13 years. I get it. It's good skills, but I'm tired of it. Hey, moving on. Neither here nor there. I would probably bring a VPO if I was back to patrol, just because of the variety of tasks that you have to do in that capacity. I didn't create the VPO program, but I've definitely developed it and built it up, and I'm kind of proud of it. And I like the fact that there's here's all our rifle officers on the street. There's this group here that has a higher standard, and those are my VPO guys. Yeah. And if they can't maintain the standard, they get taken away. So it's not common in law enforcement. Usually once you get a certification, you keep it. And with that particular certification, they let me set the rules, and I said, if you can't keep it, you're done. If you can't maintain the standard, you're done. You can't carry it anymore.
What kind of standards do you have for the VPO? That differs, especially from like.
Well, so we have a standard. Control. We have a standard 100-yard target for our basic rifle, and it's our department developed the target. We also have a 200-yard target that was developed for something they never used it for, and I decided to make that the VPO target. So it's literally half the size. It's the exact same qual, but the target is half the size.
Got it.
But it's a lot harder because it's half the size, because the score area is, we have a white area that's smaller in the vitals, and then we have the whole target. And you have to get basically at least 20 out of 50 shots have to be in the white. You only need 40 out of 50 to pass, but 20 of them have to be in the white, in the smaller target area.
Interesting.
With the VPO,
at 200?
Well, with a 200-yard target, it's freaking small. I mean, that area is pretty small. So you just have to be more precise. You can't, fuck off your trigger squeeze. I have a lot of guys that. What's that?
Is there a time limit on that?
Yeah, there's time limits at all the different ranges, but it's basically a smaller. It's the same qual on a target that's half the size.
Got it.
And people fail. I have people that get a perfect score on the full size target, and they only get 18 out of the 20 in the white on the VPO. Sorry, and I do it too. I mean, I hold myself to the same standard. So it's not. If you're a good shooter, you'll be fine. It's not.
Yeah.
But I've had, VPO curriculum generally, regardless of the department, attracts two types of people: geardos and shooters.
Geardos.
And my geardos are the ones that show up with a bipod, an optic, a vertical
$4,000,
a vertical grip, a fucking heavy stock, a heavy rail, some other bullshit. They stack all this shit on the rifle, and I'm like, I have a bipod on my VPO. It stays in the bag. If I think I need a bipod, I pull it out of the bag. I put it on the rifle.
Yeah.
I don't run around with the bipod on there the whole time. I teach them you probably shouldn't keep your bipod, but they do. The geardos do, and inevitably
the thing weighs 14 pounds.
Yeah, no, I north of that, there's 15-pound rifles, and I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
Holy fuck. And they struggle getting their hits and I'm like, yeah, you're struggling because that rifle's heavy as fuck for no reason. Here's the worst part. My one guy who was doing this, the rifle was an M&P 15. It was fucking Smith & Wesson M&P 15. I'm like, you're not starting with a precise rifle. So what it was? Oh,
sell half of that shit on that rifle, and go buy a BCM.
Yeah, right. So, time for the post-video shameless request for support. If you guys like my content, you want to see more of it, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell. You guys know how YouTube works. Better yet, support my channel. Go to my website, daishotactical.com. There you can find a variety of products that I make myself at my workbench. I make a variety of slings in a bunch of different colors, quite a few different models. I also make shooting bags. Any money spent at the store really does help me moving the channel forward and making more content for you in the future. Thanks for watching.